Good morning and thanks for joining us on TVC Breakfast. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I'm Ibrahim Shita. I'm in the studio with Olamide Adeyemi. Olamide, thank God it's Friday.
Good morning, Ibrahim. Thank God it's Friday. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. It's good to see you. And I love the fact that you're rocking blue.
Thank
Is
you
it a blue
very
Friday?
much.
Because I know some people always have Monday blues. But then, I don't know about Friday. People are always happy about Friday. Some are looking forward to, partying tomorrow. Some are going to club tonight. I don't know I don't know where you fall.
I will
but
be
know
going
that
home
you'll be coming to
anyways.
work in
I
the
will be
morning.
coming to work in the morning.
It's okay. Today we'll be talking about an array of issues, but most importantly is the trending story about the Africa CDC declaring Mpox a public health emergency. Talking about the monkeypox outbreak, which is now going to, ravaging different countries. I think about 60 countries are already, reporting cases. And then later on, there will be a one-on-one conversation with the governor of Kaduna State, Obasani, about, developments in the states, the fallout of the protest, how he was able to, manage the protest, even though so many things actually went haywire during the protest in the north. So quite insightful conversation we're having with him, in the course of the program. But let's start with the recent information which Nigerians have been looking forward to hearing, where the National Bureau of Statistics reported that Nigeria's headline inflation rate dropped to 33.40% in July, down 0.8% from June's 34.19% on a year-on-year basis. The inflation rate was 9.32% higher than that of July 2023. Food inflation rose to 39.53% year-on-year and 2.47% month-on-month in July 2024. The core inflation, which excludes volatile agricultural produce and energy, stood at 27.47% year-on-year. The urban inflation rate was 35.77% year-on-year, while the rural inflation rate was 31.26%. Bauchi recorded the highest inflation rate at 46.04% year-on-year, while Taraba had the lowest increase in month-on-month inflation at 0.71. Good news, you would say there, because I know that in recent times we've been talking about the Nigeria's inflation rate, rising from 18%, 19, then up on the 20, and then we had it, jacking up to, what we had in 34%. But it's good that we're having, in July, this is August, and we look forward to it, that trajectory continuing, sliding downwards, because the president said he's committed to bringing, he said, inflation, do not worry. I remember him saying that, a few months ago, saying that inflation will definitely bring it down. So it shows that what we're seeing, because I'm a market goer, I go to the markets oftentimes, and I realize that so many things are coming down, talking about pepper, tomatoes, some other beverages, different food items, and even furniture materials, household items are also, coming down. Olamide, how do you find the story?
Oh, well, it's a great one. Well, for some that will argue that the decrease is not so obvious as much. It was down from 34.19% in June.
Yeah.
And now in July, 33.40%. Like you said, if we're going to, follow that trajectory, then it will be a remarkable increase. That's about a 0.79 difference. But when you look at some of the other factors that may have resulted in this, it's not just really about the figure, but about some of the policies put in place by the government to, address some of the issues of inflation. And of course, food items have also contributed largely to the decrease in the inflation. And like we also spoke yesterday about, the removal of tax and duties on importation of food items and other things. Food inflation has also remarkably, decreased. And so we're also looking forward to what this will bring for us as the borders will be opened, for food items to come in. I mean, some other factors may have also affected it by looking at some of the CBN's monetary policy, decision on interest rates, and many other factors, the exchange rate. Although some persons are still waiting for a lesser dollar to the naira, and also so energy cost, government spending, population growth. These are other factors, and so we do not just look at it in an individual, form, but
Yeah.
also in an holistic
Macro
form.
level.
Yes, and on a macro level in that sense. So, of course, we are expecting, a much more lesser inflation rate by the time we get the National Bureau of Statistics figure for August.
So if you look at it analytically, which some of which you've actually touched on, the decline in headline inflation rate is a positive sign, but the year-on-year, which I read earlier on, inflation rate remains, quite high. If you look at food inflation rate remains a concern, driven by increases in prices of stuffs like the staples like semovita, yam, flour, and wheat
Oil.
flour. If you also look at the core inflation rate is also increasing, indicating underlying inflationary pressures. On the state-by-state analysis, it shows varying inflation rates with some states experiencing much higher inflation than others. But, looking at the report holistically, it actually highlights the need for continued monitoring and management of inflationary pressures to ensure economic stability, because that's the overall goal. Nigerians really just want to have things cheap, but the activities of the marketers, those who are important, those who will be importing now, those who are producing, those who are going to the market, and those who are actually selling rather, buying and selling is very key. Our own individual contributions to the market forces, it's also very, very pertinent to how we stabilize our economy. So we should just be good to ourselves and also help the government to bring the inflationary pressures down. But we need to carry on by bringing you the latest information, up-to-date information, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has implored African leaders to make more strategic and deliberate efforts in addressing the exodus of skills and talent from Africa. He said this at a dinner held in his honor at the People's Palace in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. President Tinubu, who is on a 3-day official visit, said development in Africa will begin when the continent starts to look inward for solutions. He thanked the president of Equatorial Guinea, Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasongo, for the invitation to visit Malabo. The leader of Equatorial Guinea has also called for more collaboration and solidarity between both countries, stating that Nigeria has always held a special place in our foreign policy.
We discussed various areas of complex mechanism and what are we to promote in hunger, United Nations Assembly, promote peace and stability for our continent, and growth and prosperity for that same continent in the same way that Europe and Americans had helped themselves and find a solution for the conflict, the continent, both inadequate capital, industrialization effort, research and development programs that will enlighten our people and navigate our way through problems.